So hello everyone, welcome back to the Python series. And in this lecture, we are going to learn about what are loops in Python and how we are going to work on loops in Python. So what why we use loops is uh, we when we want to create a code, we should be in you can say I have to write it again and again the same set of data, then I will be executing it. Suppose I want to write hello. I want to write this hello 10 times, so I can write hello 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 up to 10 times. So can write hello up to 10 times, right? It's easier for me to do. Suppose instead of writing 10 times, I want to write it 1000 times, or I want to write 10,000 times, then this writing of this hello will be a tedious task for me, and it will be a problematic task for me. So in all such cases, I have to I cannot do it on with the help of manual use, right? Then I want to take help from another method which can be much easier than this, and which can also help me in writing in a proper fashion. So in that case, if we want to do the same instruction again and again, then we will take help from a concept which is known as loops in Python. So now the other thing is, when we work on loops, then we need to take care of two conditions. First condition is we need to select some statements, not all, some statements that actually needs repetition, that needs to be repeated, right? And secondly, second thing is, whenever we want to repeat, we are going from a start condition towards a stop condition, right? So that means we are converging from start to stop. So it should not be a case that when we start, we don't have a stop condition. Suppose I want to start from I is equal to 0, and I want to come to I is equal to 10, then I will have to increase in this fashion, I from 0 to 1, then 1 to 2, then I will 2 to 3, up to I get to closer to 10. Each iteration, each round, I am going ahead from 0 till I reach a condition called 10. So it cannot be the case that I never find this 10 in my iteration. So if I cannot find this 10, this loop will never end. So it will never have a stop condition. So these two conditions should be fulfilled. That means I need to have some statements that needs to be repeated, and I need to have a start and a stop condition, and I should have a mechanism to actually reach the start and stop of that particular system. So now what we are going to see is what are the basic ingredients or the constructs of a loop, right? So a loop always have three basic constructs. One is the increment part, one is called the initialization part, the second is called the condition part, the third is the increment and decrement part. So we will see one by one what all the things are there in this. So in loops we have, the first thing is initialization. Okay, initialization, that means you are initializing a variable. Now what this variable is, this variable is called iterative variables. Suppose the variable name is I, and I initialize it with 0, right? Or I can have I initialize it to 10. Okay, so that means that this variable I is equal to 0 or I is equal to 10 is going to control the complete loop. From I is equal to 0, I can move ahead till I is equal to n, or from I is equal to 10, I can move ahead to 0 or 1, right? So if I'm going from 0 to 1, this is decrement. From I'm going to 0 to n or 10, I am going to do an increment. So this is increment and this is decrement operator. The second thing is, it should have a condition. Okay, it should have a condition, like I want to check every time whether the I is less than 10 or not, or I is more than 0 or not, right? So if this is the condition, I am going from I is equal to 0, so I will 10, I will every time I will check whether the value of I is less than 10 or not, because I have to stop at I is equal to 10. And in this case I am going to check till the value of I is more than 0. I am going to execute the loop. So this is the second thing that you need to understand, that with initialization I will also need the help of a condition. The third is increment and decrement operators statements. Increment statement means suppose the value of I was 0, the next value of I calculated as I is equal to I plus 1. Okay, so if the I value is 0, the next value will be 0 plus 1 2. So if the 0 plus 1 1, and if I have a value of 1, the next value will be 2. So in this way I am going to increase from 0 to 10, right? Likewise, if I want to decrement, then it will be I is equal to I minus 1. So I value was 10, the next value will be 9. So if the I value was 9, the next value will be 8. So I am coming back till 1. So this is the basics of three like constructs that each loop should have, and you should know about these three things. Without these three constructs, you cannot implement any type of looping statements, right? Like for, while, or do while, whatever the like statements are, or the looping constructs are, you need to have these type of statements. Now we will see while loop first, and then we will see what is the equivalent for loop condition for implementing certain structures, right? So in while loop, what we do is, if you can see the syntax says that in while loop you have to mention the condition. You also have to mention the condition. So there is a statement called while, right? This is the keyword called while, and then you have an expression, then you have a colon, and after that you write statements. So if I write it here clearly, so it says I will write while, and within the parenthesis I will mention a condition, right? And after that I will put a colon, and then inside this I can write n number of statements. With all the statements are part of this while loop. Suppose let's have a very small example here. The example is written here. So the example says when the count value is 0, so it initializes this count value to 0. So this is the initialization statement. Okay, this is the initialization statement which initializes a variable called count to the value called 0. Now in the while keyword or the while statement, you mentioned that count value is less than 3. So it says that suppose the value of count is here, initial value of count was 0, till this loop will run until it is less than 3. That means its value can be 0, 1 and 2. Okay, we cannot have 3 because the condition says that the value of count should be less than 3. Now when this is true, so at initial cases count was 0, so value of count is 0. 0 less than 3, this condition becomes true. Okay, so if the condition becomes true, it will read this statement. It says count should be incremented by 1. So now when the count was 0 initially, the next value of the count will be, next count will be 1. Okay, and after that it returns that it will print the value called hello. So it will print once hello world. Once this is done, the system will go back to this while, because the value of I has been incremented to 1. Okay, now it says value of I count is 1, 1 is less than 3, again this is true. Come inside and it will increment the value of the count to 2, right? Now once this is 2, it will again print this hello world, and then it will again go up, increment this value will become 2, right? Now value of our count is 2, 2 less than 3, again true, come inside, increment the value of count to 3, print hello world, the third time it prints hello world, and finally it goes up 3 less than 3, found this condition false, so it will come out, it will not do anything, it will print 3 times this hello world statement. Okay, so this hello world statement is printed 3 times. Now we will see that suppose what will happen if this thing is failed. So this is the earlier program, but after 3 what will happen if while statement is false, this condition becomes false, so our count is equal to 3, then the control reaches to the else part. Okay, like if you have seen in if and else statement, the if condition is false, the control reaches the else part. Likewise, while also have an else part. Whenever this while condition fails, the control reaches the else part, and in that case, after printing 3 times hello world, the fourth thing will be else block. So the fourth thing will be the else block. So in this you can see that the fourth part is the else block. Okay, this is the else block. Now the thing is, why is this infinite? What is this infinite loop? Okay, question is this: what is this infinite loop? So if I say what is this infinite loop, why let me explain this. So you have a initialization count is equal to 0. Now inside this, whenever we write an expression here or a condition here, like we have written about the count is more than 3. Okay, this more than less than is a relational operator. Okay, this is a relational operator. The relational operator says that either this condition can be true or this condition can be false, right? Now what happened, count is equal to 0. When the value of this count was 0, this was the assignment operator, right? So we assigned a value 0 to this count, and inside this, while we are checking whether the count is equal to 0, right? This condition will always turn out to be true, right? And when we have a while and the condition becomes true, this condition is always true. So it will keep on printing this hello world infinite time of time. So infinite times it will print this hello world infinite times. So this is known as infinite loop. Okay, so we need to remember that the condition that is written in the while should not be true for infinite time. Always true. It should be false, because when it will be false, it will be coming out of that particular system. Okay, now coming to the next loop, that is the for loop. The for loop, unlike the while loop, is a different type of structure. Okay, so we will see for loop in our next video, next lecture, and till then you can practice some of your basics on while loop. If you have any issues, any queries, you can post in the comment or reach out to us. Thank you.